For centuries, humans have gazed at the stars, imagining a future where they would sail across the cosmic ocean, encountering alien civilizations and exploring the vast unknown. But what if that future is already here? What if, at this very moment, a human warship has crossed the threshold into deep galactic space, where it was never meant to be? The universe is a silent battlefield of intelligence, technology, and power. Many believe we are alone, while others argue that extraterrestrial civilizations are watching, waiting, and analyzing our every move. But there is one certainty. If an advanced species exists, they would view Earth as a developing civilization, much like how ancient empires viewed newly discovered tribes. And now, a single event may have shattered that careful observation. Humanity has sent a warship into the void, an unmistakable signal that we are not just explorers, but potential aggressors. But how could this have happened? What vessel could possibly breach the unknown territories of deep space? Could it be an experimental military project, hidden from public knowledge, or something much more extraordinary? The implications of such an event are staggering, forcing us to question the very fabric of interstellar diplomacy and the risks of drawing unwanted attention from civilizations far beyond our understanding. To unravel this mystery, we must begin at the root: the evolution of space warfare, the secretive advancements in human military technology, and the possibility that someone, somewhere, has already answered our silent call to the stars. The rise of space warfare. How did we get here? The idea of militarizing space isn't new. Throughout history, military expansion has been directly tied to technological advancements. From the first iron swords to nuclear submarines, warfare has always adapted to the tools available. Space, the final frontier, was bound to become the next battlefield. The origins of space warfare trace back to the Cold War, when the United States and the Soviet Union began testing anti-satellite weapons, orbital reconnaissance, and even theoretical concepts for space-based missile platforms. The U.S. Strategic Defense Initiative, dubbed Star Wars, was one of the first attempts at controlling space militarily. But the technology was far ahead of its time. Yet the seeds were planted, and over the decades, military organizations worldwide continued refining their ambitions for space superiority. Fast forward to today, and the global militarization of space has escalated beyond speculation. The U.S. Space Force, China's space-based military initiatives, and Russia's development of space-based deterrence indicate that the race for orbital dominance is no longer science fiction. Several experimental warships, unmanned space combat drones, and advanced kinetic weapon systems have been theorized, some even believed to be operational in classified military projects. However, all of these developments have remained within Earth's near-orbit territory. What happens when humanity takes the next step? When the boundary between Earth's military domain and the deep unknown is broken? Could a human warship have been sent beyond the solar system in complete secrecy? If so, what was its mission? Surveillance? Defense? Or was it meant to send a clear message to whoever may be listening? These questions lead us to one of the most controversial and highly classified projects ever rumored. The Void Initiative, a supposed black-budget operation, aimed at developing the first interstellar-capable warship. Could this be the vessel that has now entered galactic space, altering the cosmic balance forever? The Void Initiative, a secret beyond imagination. Among the many conspiracy theories and classified military projects, few have generated as much intrigue as the Void Initiative. If real, this project would signify the most significant leap in military space exploration, one that defies the limits of conventional physics and propulsion technology. The core idea behind the Void Initiative is the development of an experimental warship utilizing a hybrid propulsion system, potentially involving nuclear fusion, antimatter containment, or even theoretical breakthroughs in space-time manipulation. The ship's design, capabilities, and mission profile remain a mystery, but certain leaked details from anonymous sources suggest it may have been developed under complete secrecy, beyond the public eye and scientific community. One of the strongest arguments supporting the existence of such a project is the staggering amount of missing government and defense funding, often allocated to vague, advanced research initiatives. Black-budget operations have always existed, fueling projects like the stealth bomber before its public unveiling. If the Void Initiative is real, then its funding likely came from the same hidden streams, allowing for the creation of a warship so advanced that it could now be crossing interstellar space undetected. But why would a warship, rather than a simple probe or scientific vessel, be humanity's first true interstellar mission? The answer may lie in a concept that military strategists have long feared: the inevitability of first contact under hostile conditions. Some intelligence agencies and space analysts argue that the reason governments have prepared for militarized space operations is that they expect an extraterrestrial threat, one that might not be as welcoming as we once hoped. If the Void Initiative exists, its purpose may be twofold: to assess the dangers of deep space travel while preparing for a worst-case scenario. But what happens when a warship, equipped with humanity's deadliest weapons, enters another civilization's territory? Could this be the exact mistake that triggers an interstellar crisis? The most terrifying question remains unanswered. If a human warship has entered galactic space, has it been noticed? And if so, how will the unknown respond? First contact or first conflict? The repercussions of a human warship in galactic space. If a human warship has entered galactic space, then the question isn't just whether it was detected, it's who detected it and how they might respond. To understand the gravity of this situation, we must consider two key possibilities. Either we are alone in the universe, and this warship is a beacon of human expansion, or we are not alone, and this event marks humanity's first undeniable step into an interstellar arena where we may not be welcome. For centuries, the Fermi paradox has haunted scientists and philosophers alike. If the universe is so vast, where is everyone? Theories range from the idea that civilizations self-destruct before reaching interstellar travel to the possibility that advanced species remain silent, avoiding unnecessary attention. But one of the most chilling explanations is the dark forest theory, which suggests that the universe operates under a brutal survival rule. Any civilization that reveals its location risks immediate annihilation by a more advanced and cautious species. If true, then humanity's decision to send a military vessel into deep space might be seen as an aggressive act, a provocation, or worse, a declaration of war. Unlike the passive signals we've sent into space, a warship represents something far more dangerous: intent, capability, and potential hostility. Any civilization monitoring the void for threats would have every reason to analyze, or even intercept, such a vessel. The possible encounters: friend, foe, or something else. Let's assume an alien species does detect the warship. The nature of their response would depend on their own level of technological advancement, political structure, and interstellar policies. Here are three possible scenarios. Scenario A: an advanced but peaceful civilization. If the warship is detected by an advanced yet peaceful civilization, their reaction may be one of curiosity rather than immediate hostility. They might attempt to communicate, sending non-threatening signals or dispatching an observational probe to study the vessel. This scenario assumes that the alien civilization operates on principles similar to our diplomatic traditions, favoring first contact through peaceful engagement. But even in this case, there's a problem. The warship's very presence implies military intent. Why send a warship instead of a diplomatic or exploratory vessel? From their perspective, humanity's first step into interstellar space may already appear dangerously aggressive. Scenario B: a militaristic or cautious civilization. A more likely scenario is that the warship is detected by a species that views unknown entities as potential threats. In this case, they might take preemptive measures, such as disabling or capturing the vessel before it can pose any risk. If they are significantly more advanced, they could neutralize the ship effortlessly, preventing it from relaying information back to Earth. This raises a terrifying possibility. If previous civilizations have attempted similar interstellar expansions, could they have been intercepted and erased before making their presence known? Are we unknowingly following a pattern that has always led to eradication? Scenario C: a predatory or expansionist species. The worst-case scenario involves a species that actively seeks out and eliminates potential rivals. If such a species exists, they may see the warship as an intrusion into their domain. Rather than communicating, they might attack without warning, wiping out the vessel and tracing its origin back to Earth. There's a disturbing theory in astrobiology that suggests the first extraterrestrial civilization we encounter is likely to be an aggressive one, because expansionist civilizations tend to dominate their surroundings, while peaceful ones may remain hidden. If this theory holds true, then humanity may have just made a fatal mistake by announcing its military presence before fully understanding what lies beyond our solar system. The technology factor. Can the warship defend itself? Assuming that the warship was built under the most advanced conditions possible, how would it fare against a civilization that has mastered interstellar travel? The unfortunate reality is that any species capable of detecting and intercepting the ship would likely outmatch it in every conceivable way. Here's why: weapons systems. While humanity has made significant progress in laser, railgun, and missile technologies, our most advanced weapons pale in comparison to what a civilization millions of years ahead of us could wield. If aliens possess energy-based weaponry, gravitational manipulation, or quantum-level armaments, they could dismantle the ship effortlessly. Defensive capabilities. If the warship has shielding or armor, its effectiveness depends entirely on its level of technological sophistication. While Earth's military engineers may have designed it to withstand high-velocity impacts, electromagnetic pulses, or even limited energy attacks, it's unlikely to be prepared for weapons beyond human comprehension. Propulsion and maneuverability. The biggest disadvantage humanity faces is speed and maneuverability. If our warship is using conventional propulsion, such as nuclear or ion thrusters, then it will be far too slow to escape an interception. An advanced species, using faster-than-light travel or advanced inertial manipulation, could overtake the ship effortlessly. In short, if a superior civilization decides to engage with the warship, the outcome is almost certain. Humanity's first interstellar mission would become its first interstellar casualty. Has Earth already been notified? If the warship has been intercepted, then there's one critical question: has Earth been notified? If the vessel was destroyed instantly, then its fate may never be known. However, if an advanced civilization understands the importance of deterrence, they may choose to send a message. What form would such a message take? A direct communication. If they wish to make their stance clear, they might send a warning signal, either directly to the warship or toward Earth. Such a signal could be as simple as a coded transmission, or as complex as an interstellar beacon, aimed at shutting down all further attempts at expansion. A show of power. Some civilizations, rather than attacking outright, may demonstrate their superior capabilities in an unmistakable way. They could disable the ship without destroying it, leaving it adrift as a warning. Alternatively, they could alter something within our own solar system, perhaps interfering with satellites, or even displaying a physical phenomenon near Earth that could not be ignored. A silent observation. The most chilling possibility is that they do nothing. If an alien species is highly intelligent, they may see no reason to respond immediately. Instead, they might simply observe, analyzing Earth's reaction, military strategies, and whether we attempt to send another ship. If they deem humanity a threat in the long run, they could be planning a response on a timeline beyond our comprehension. If any of these scenarios are playing out right now, it means that somewhere in the depths of space, humanity is no longer an unnoticed civilization. We have drawn attention to ourselves in a way that cannot be undone. And the greatest question of all still remains: what happens next? The unfolding crisis. Earth's response and the implications for humanity. If a human warship has entered galactic space and made contact, either directly or indirectly, then Earth's response will define the future of our species. This is no longer a theoretical discussion about the possibility of extraterrestrial life. This is a moment of reckoning, where the actions of a single warship could trigger events far beyond humanity's control. At this point, there are two primary questions that world leaders, military strategists, and scientific communities must grapple with. What do we do now? And what does this mean for our future in the cosmos? 1. The military and governmental response in times of uncertainty. Governments default to preparedness. If intelligence agencies or Space Command divisions receive data confirming an encounter, whether through intercepted transmissions, unexplained anomalies, or the complete disappearance of the warship, then classified emergency protocols will likely be activated. Here's how major global powers might react. United States and Space Force. As the most heavily invested nation in military space operations, the United States would likely treat this situation as an immediate security risk. The U.S. Space Force, which was officially established in 2019, would work alongside NASA, intelligence agencies, and military contractors to assess the threat level. This could lead to an escalation in space-based defense systems, with renewed funding for orbital weapons, deep space reconnaissance projects, and rapid response satellite networks. China and Russia. Both nations have their own space-based military programs and would likely conduct independent investigations while strengthening their defense infrastructure. China's ambitions for space dominance are well documented, and if they perceive an alien civilization as a new variable in global power struggles, they may accelerate their own space militarization efforts. Russia, known for its cyber and electronic warfare capabilities, may attempt to analyze any intercepted signals or probe vulnerabilities in whatever extraterrestrial presence has been detected. NATO and global coordination. If the threat is deemed existential, NATO and allied nations may initiate unprecedented cooperation. Existing space treaties would likely be rewritten, and a global emergency response council could be established. The goal would be to ensure that humanity presents a united front, though historical conflicts suggest that competition, secrecy, and self-preservation may take precedence over unity. Secretive space programs. Beyond public-facing agencies, classified projects such as DARPA's advanced research initiatives and rumored black-budget operations would take center stage. If there are already hidden space-based weapons or experimental technologies being developed, they would likely be accelerated in anticipation of a worst-case scenario. One chilling possibility remains. What if the warship itself was part of a classified project unknown to even the highest-ranking officials? If a secret spacefaring faction exists within a government, or even within a corporate or private entity, then the ramifications of their actions could be catastrophic for all of humanity. The scientific and public reaction. While governments work behind closed doors, the scientific community and the general public would demand answers. If data leaks occur, whether through hacked communications, whistleblowers, or unexplained astronomical anomalies, the world's brightest minds would begin dissecting every available piece of information. Astrophysicists and SETI researchers, scientists dedicated to the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, would immediately analyze all known radio signals, cosmic anomalies, and unexplained deep space transmissions. If evidence of first contact emerges, the scientific debate on extraterrestrial life would shift from speculation to crisis management. Technologists and private space companies, organizations like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and other aerospace giants, would push for transparency while simultaneously developing their own contingency plans. Some private companies may see this as an opportunity, rushing to advance spaceflight technology in hopes of securing humanity's future among the stars. If the warship survives, first contact and galactic diplomacy. If the human warship is still active, whether stranded, engaged, or in direct communication with an extraterrestrial entity, then Earth's approach to diplomacy must be carefully crafted. This moment could redefine our species' trajectory for millennia to come. Establishing contact. If alien intelligence has acknowledged the warship's presence without immediate aggression, then humanity has a brief but crucial window to respond. Linguists, cryptographers, and astrophysicists would be tasked with decoding any messages, whether in electromagnetic pulses, mathematical sequences, or even direct telepathic communication, if such a phenomenon exists. The risks of miscommunication. If we fail to understand their intent, even a peaceful alien civilization could misinterpret human responses as hostile or disrespectful. History has shown that misunderstandings between cultures, such as the misinterpretation of gestures, language, or technology, have led to devastating conflicts on Earth. The same principle could apply on a much grander, more catastrophic scale. Section: Prospect of a cosmic alliance. In the best-case scenario, the warship's encounter could lead to an unprecedented exchange of knowledge, trade, or even inclusion into an interstellar coalition. If such alliances exist, they may operate under strict guidelines, perhaps only accepting civilizations that meet specific criteria, such as technological maturity, social stability, or an absence of expansionist tendencies. Would humanity qualify? Or would we be deemed too reckless? The fear of submission. Not all alliances are built on mutual respect. If the warship's survival comes at the cost of Earth's sovereignty, we may find ourselves subordinate to a higher power, forced into servitude, scientific exploitation, or worse, an outright restructuring of our civilization under foreign rule. If the warship disappears, the mystery deepens, but what if the warship is simply gone? No distress signals, no wreckage, no survivors, just an eerie void where it once existed. This outcome presents terrifying possibilities. An advanced species warning. If the warship was eliminated instantly, it may serve as an unspoken message. Stay away. A species capable of wiping out a military vessel without leaving a trace is one operating on a level far beyond our comprehension. If they have noticed us, they may already be deciding whether we are a civilization worth preserving, or one that must be contained. A cosmic prison, or a multidimensional barrier. Some scientists have theorized that the universe may not be as open as we imagine. What if there are natural or artificial barriers that keep civilizations contained within their own regions of space? If the warship ventured beyond a forbidden threshold, it may have crossed into a domain from which no return is possible. Was the warship taken? If an alien intelligence has chosen to seize the warship rather than destroy it, they may be studying its technology, its crew, or even the very essence of human cognition. What knowledge could they extract? What conclusions would they draw about our intentions? And most importantly, would they send something back? The reaction on Earth. A fractured civilization back on Earth. The mystery of the warship's fate would send shockwaves across every aspect of human society. Governments, scientists, and ordinary citizens would be left grasping for answers. But in the absence of concrete evidence, speculation would spiral into paranoia. Geopolitical conflicts intensify. If the warship was lost, nations might blame each other for its failure. Accusations of sabotage, hidden knowledge, and secret military dealings could escalate tensions on Earth, leading to wars fought not over land, but over control of spacefaring resources and knowledge. Religious and existential crises, major religions, would be forced to reconsider their doctrines. Was this event divine intervention, proof of a higher order, or a warning from an unknown godlike force? Apocalyptic cults could rise, claiming the event as a sign of impending judgment. Meanwhile, atheists and scientists would see this as an opportunity to push for a secular, knowledge-driven approach to survival. The rise of isolationism and cosmic fear. Some factions of society may argue that the best course of action is to cease all space exploration immediately. The theory of the dark forest, which suggests that intelligent life remains silent to avoid detection by predatory civilizations, could gain widespread acceptance. In this scenario, Earth may deliberately erase all traces of its existence, shutting down radio transmissions, dismantling space stations, and abandoning interstellar ambitions to avoid attracting further attention. If they are already here, one of the most chilling possibilities is that the warship never truly entered alien space, because extraterrestrials have already been observing us from within. Hidden observers. Some researchers believe that alien civilizations may have already placed surveillance systems within our solar system, perhaps on the far side of the moon, within the icy depths of Europa, or disguised as seemingly natural cosmic phenomena. If the warship's presence triggered a response, it may not be from deep space, but from within our own celestial backyard. Influence over humanity's past. Ancient astronaut theories, while speculative, suggest that past human civilizations may have encountered or even been guided by extraterrestrial forces. If an advanced species has subtly shaped human history, they may see this warship's journey as a deviation from their intended design, one that must be corrected. A sudden arrival. What if the warship's actions forced an alien civilization to accelerate their timeline? Rather than waiting for humanity to reach a certain threshold, they may decide that intervention is necessary, now. In that case, we wouldn't have years to prepare. We might have days. Final thoughts. The choice that defines us in the end, the fate of humanity, hinges on a single truth. Our first venture beyond our known space is not just an exploration. It is a declaration. It declares that humanity is bold enough to step into the unknown, that we are either ready to engage with the cosmos or foolish enough to provoke forces we do not understand. Perhaps the warship's journey is the beginning of a new era, where Earth joins the galactic community and ascends to unimaginable heights. Or, perhaps it is the moment where humanity unknowingly seals its own fate. One thing is certain. We are no longer alone. And now, the universe is watching. The public and media frenzy. If any part of this information becomes public, global society would enter a state of upheaval. Governments may attempt to control the narrative through disinformation campaigns, suppressing leaked reports or reframing the event as a natural cosmic phenomenon. However, the rise of decentralized media and open-source intelligence would make it nearly impossible to contain the truth for long. Public reactions would range from fear to excitement, with religious groups, conspiracy theorists, and futurists, all presenting competing interpretations. Some may argue that humanity has finally reached its destined moment of first contact, while others may see this as a prelude to an invasion. The financial markets would likely experience extreme volatility, with investors scrambling to predict the long-term effects on global stability. Gold, cryptocurrencies, and defense stocks might skyrocket as nations prepare for the unknown. The existential question: what if we are being judged? If an advanced civilization has taken notice of the human warship, then Earth itself may now be under observation, or worse, under evaluation. There are several philosophical questions that arise from this scenario. Are we worthy of interstellar inclusion? If extraterrestrials operate under a structured galactic order, they may be assessing whether humanity is fit to join it. Our history of warfare, environmental destruction, and internal conflicts could paint a negative picture. However, our scientific achievements, cultural advancements, and ability to cooperate in times of crisis could serve as counterarguments. Are we perceived as a threat? The mere existence of a warship in deep space suggests that humanity possesses the ability, and possibly the willingness, to engage in military expansion. If extraterrestrial civilizations have survived by maintaining peace through enforced control, they may see Earth as a ticking time bomb. Is humanity's fate already sealed? If other civilizations have previously failed to meet the standards of interstellar diplomacy, then we may already be on a predetermined path, one that ends with containment, forced isolation, or even eradication. The final decision: war, diplomacy, or retreat. The next steps humanity takes will define our place in the universe. There are three possible paths forward. Diplomatic outreach. If we believe that communication is possible, efforts must be made to engage in peaceful first contact. Scientists and linguists may attempt to decode any alien signals, while world leaders push for a universal message of cooperation. This, however, assumes that the alien species is willing to listen. Military readiness. If Earth perceives a threat, then planetary defense efforts will be prioritized. Governments may accelerate weaponized satellite systems, space-based missile platforms, and experimental defense grids. However, if we are truly outmatched, then no level of militarization will make a difference. Retreat and silence. Some may argue that the best course of action is to withdraw entirely, abandoning the warship, ceasing deep space military operations, and returning to a state of cosmic silence. This would be an attempt to undo the mistake of revealing our presence. But if we have already been noticed, then it may be too late. The final unknown. Is the warship still out there? There is one last, terrifying possibility. What if the warship never returns? What if no signals, no debris, no trace of its existence remains? If that were the case, then we may be facing an even greater mystery. Did something take the warship? Did it fall into the hands of an intelligence so advanced that even our most sophisticated tracking systems can no longer detect it? Or, perhaps, most disturbing of all, was it never a warship to begin with? What if the entire event was a fabrication, a carefully orchestrated illusion meant to mislead us? If that's true, then the real threat isn't in deep space, it's already here, watching, waiting, and perhaps guiding us toward an outcome we do not yet understand. The question remains, what happens next? The fate of humanity, A new dawn, or an inevitable end? At this moment, humanity stands at a crossroads, facing an existential reckoning unlike anything in recorded history. A lone warship, an instrument of human ambition and defiance, has breached the boundaries of galactic space, sending ripples across an unseen cosmic order. Now the pressing question is no longer what happens next, but rather, how does humanity prepare for what comes after?